Hello everybody! In today's lesson, we'll be dealing with a new topic, the European Union. Actually, there are similarities between the United Nations and the European Union because both organizations represent nations that have come together to achieve shared goals. The European Union, on the one hand, focuses primarily on the issues of its member nations in Europe. And on the other hand, we saw that the United Nations works with countries throughout the world to deal with economic, political, and social issues. Both groups have also cooperated with each other to achieve their shared goals. The European Union is a unique economic and political union between European countries. But it is important to specify that there is a difference between what the European Union is and what Europe is. So Europe is a continent which includes 51 countries. A continent is in fact a large and continuous mass of land, ideally separated by water or by mountains. Only 27 of these European countries are members of an economic and political union called the European Union. So you can tell the difference between these two maps. The predecessor of the European Union at first was created in the aftermath of the Second World War in order to promote economic cooperation. So the idea was that countries that trade with one another become economically interdependent and so more likely to avoid conflict. So basically, this means that countries in Europe saw that it is better to work together than fighting against each other. The result was the European Economic Community created in 1958 with the initial aim, con lo scopo iniziale, of increasing economic cooperation between 6 countries: Belgium, Germany, France, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. Since then, 22 more countries joined, and among them was the United Kingdom, which officially left the EU in January 2020. This process was nicknamed Brexit. As of May 2020, the EU member states are 27. What began as a purely economic union has evolved into an organization involved in many different areas: climate, environment, health, external relations, security, justice, migration. And a name change from the European Economic Community to the European Union in 1993 demonstrated that cooperation was no longer only concerned with matters of trade. After the European Union was created, there were no more wars in Europe. And that's why the European Union won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2012. The EU's major achievement is the single market. The single market refers to the EU as one territory in which most goods, services, money, and people can move freely. Thanks to the abolition of border controls between EU countries, people can travel freely throughout most of the continent. All EU citizens have the right and freedom to choose in which EU country they want to study, work, retire, and every EU country must treat EU citizens in exactly the same way as its own citizens when it comes to matters of employment, social security, and tax. Hundreds of technical and legal barriers between EU member states have been removed, and as a result of this, companies have expanded their operations, competition has brought prices down and giving consumers more choice. So, for example, phone calls in Europe are much cheaper as well as plane tickets. The general principles of the EU are contained in the Treaty on European Union of 2009. Its second article claims, "The Union is founded on the values of respect for human dignity, freedom, democracy, equality, the rule of law, and respect for human rights, including the rights of persons belonging to minorities. These values are common to the member states in a society in which pluralism, non-discrimination, tolerance, justice, solidarity, and equality between women and men prevail." These values are an integral part of the European way of life. Being a European citizen also means enjoying political rights, so every adult EU citizen has the right to vote in elections to the European Parliament. Equality is about equal rights for all citizens before the law. The EU is based on the rule of law, so everything the EU does is founded on treaties, which are voluntarily and democratically agreed by its member countries. And human rights are protected by the EU Charter of Fundamental Rights. Among them are the right to be free from discrimination on the basis of sex, racial or ethnic origin, religion or belief, disability, age or sexual orientation, the right to the protection of your personal data, and the right to get access to justice. The unique feature of the EU is that although the member states remain sovereign and independent states, they have decided to cooperate in areas where it makes sense to work together. In practice, this means that member states delegate some of their decision-making powers to the shared institutions they have created, so that decisions on specific matters of common interest can be made democratically. There are several institutions involved in making decisions in the European Union, and we will talk about these in a minute. Every action taken by the EU is founded on treaties that have been approved voluntarily and democratically by all EU countries. The treaties establish the objectives of the European Union, the rules for how the European Union institutions operate, how decisions are made, and the relationship between the EU and its member states. As far as this last point is concerned, it is important to note that not all member states participate in all areas of the EU. While the euro is the currency of the EU as a whole, the euro area currently comprises only 19 member states, for example. Another example, 21 member states are members of the Schengen area, the part of the single market which enables passport-free movement, while 6 maintain their own border controls. The flag of the European Union is blue and has a circle of gold stars on it. The blue background represents the Western world, and the stars represent the member states. It is a symbol that shows that the countries of the European Union are united and stand by each other. The European Union has its own anthem too, Anthem Inno. In 1985, Beethoven's Ninth Symphony also known as Ode to Joy, was chosen to be the anthem of the European Union. The melody shows how important it is that all people are free, live in peace, and stand by each other. In 2017, members of the Parliament of the United Kingdom from the Scottish National Party first whistled and then sang Ode to Joy during a vote at the House of Commons to protest against Brexit. And here's a video documenting this event. If you're curious, you can stop this video lesson to watch it, and then we'll meet back here. In every country of the European Union, people speak their own language. The European Union protects the right of people to communicate in their own language, making all important information and documents in 24 languages. And now, what the European Union does. We will now focus on the main areas of the EU's work, not all of them because there are many, but the most important at least. So as far as economy and finance are concerned, the EU's economic and financial policies aim to promote growth and employment, promote fiscal stability, promote investment, and prevent or correct imbalances. Some examples. In reaction to the economic and financial crisis of 2008, the EU's economic governance was strengthened through improvements to the Stability and Growth Pact, the fiscal rules member states follow to facilitate and maintain the stability of economic and monetary union, the creation of the European Stability Mechanism to financially support those states most affected by the crisis, such as Greece, and the macroeconomic imbalance procedure was also introduced to monitor and correct potentially problematic economic trends in individual member states and prevent them from affecting others. The euro, in circulation since 2002 and used by more than 340 million people in 19 member states, is the world's second most important currency after the US dollar. A single currency is practical for citizens and helps countries in the European Union to do business together. So, for example, people from Spain can buy things they want from Belgium easily and without extra costs. Using the same coin makes it easier for people to travel, buy things online from other countries, and have more options in general.